Hi, I'm tutor of Uplatz. Welcome to the second session of Salesforce Learning. If you want to know more about Uplatz, you can log on to uplatz.com or you can contact by email mentioned at info@uplatz.com or a contact number mentioned here in the presentation. In this session, we will be discussing about the Salesforce platform, explain the company profile and license types. We will be define user license available in the developer org, explain page layouts, search layouts, object limits, system overview, list the types of sandboxes, and at the end we will talk about MVC model in Salesforce. As we have seen in the first module, how to sign up for a free developer edition of Salesforce. And once you have signed up for the developer edition, then use login.salesforce to log in to that developer edition account. About Salesforce platform, the force.com environment has built-in database, user-friendly GUI, business logic layer, and solid multi-layered security model. All API calls bundled into this platform. It is data-driven, data-centric application with objects, fields, which are typical RDBMS products, MS Access, Oracle, etc. It has multi-tenant and metadata-driven architecture. And as we have already discussed in the first module, metadata is stored in the same database and it gets auto upgraded 3 times in a year, summer, winter, and spring. Company logo. Company logo is used for branding purpose. Every application in Salesforce can have a custom logo. We can add a logo from the app manager by clicking on the upload button from the app settings as shown in the picture. We need to ensure that the logo size need to be below 20 KB. System overview. And before we jump into system overview, let's see the environment of Salesforce. Once you log into Salesforce, it will navigate to you to this page. We have already discussed the Salesforce Classic and Salesforce Lightning view. Currently, we are here on service application. If you want to see all the applications available in the Salesforce environment, we can click on this button. Upon clicking this button, it will show all the applications in the Salesforce. Currently, we have just signed up for this free developer edition. We have not created a single thing in this instance. These are the applications which are pre-built by Salesforce. The like service application, marketing, community, sales console, content, Salesforce chatter, service console, sales, and so on. If you want to switch between the application, you can click on any of the application and it will navigate you to that particular application. Application is nothing but a bunch of tabs, and on clicking of tab you can access that particular tab and the information on that particular tabs. Tabs are representing S objects or reports and dashboards or any other custom pages. Now, if we talk about what are S objects are nothing but the data tables. If you guys are already familiar with the SQL database, then SQL are a table in a SQL database is same as objects. If you guys are not familiar with SQL database, then let's talk about what tables are. Suppose there is one table named student, and in that table there are fields name, roll number, name, class, and subjects. This is the name of the table. These are the fields and these are the records in them. Like roll number, I gave a number. For name, I gave a noun. And then for class, I gave fifth class. And then subjects, I just gave the initials like English, science, and social studies, etc., physics, chemistry, and so on. So these are the tables, and tables are called as subjects in Salesforce. And from now on, I don't use table word. Instead of table, I'll call as subjects. As subjects are nothing but the data tables. Now go back to the slide. System overview. As we have not created any single thing, but once we create things in Salesforce, we want to know the limit and what we have consumed so far. To access the system overview, and in classic mod in classic edition, you can go to setup and then monitor and then system overview. But we will be using Lightning, so we will simply click on this gear icon, click on it, we go to the setup. In setup, we can mention here system overview. We click on system overview. Here we can see the number of custom objects, metadata, custom metadata type usage, data storage, available data storage, and used business logic like rules, Apex trigger, classes, code used, user interfaces. We have all the limits. So this is what the by default limits. So as of now, we have not created any custom objects. Custom objects are nothing but those tables that we create. There are some of the S objects which are already created in those applications that I have already shown. Now go back to the slide here. What we can see inside the system overview, we can see schema, we can see business logic, most used license and portal roles. In schema, we can see custom objects, set custom settings, data storage, API requests, and in business logic, there are custom pages, active flows, active triggers, then license and portal roles, as we have seen in the Salesforce key building blocks. This is the table that I have created, which shows the key building blocks. In Salesforce, we have applications. Inside those applications, we have tabs. And if we click on the tab, it will show us the list of records in that subject. And if we click on that record, then there will be page layouts and objects. If we talk about the application in Salesforce, applications are contain application contains a set of related tabs, objects which are visible to the end user, which helps the end user achieve some business functionality. If we go to Salesforce, we click this button to navigate to all applications. For example, this time we'll go to sales application. I click on sales. Upon clicking sales, we can see the number of tabs here. These all are tabs listed here. We click on more, there will be more tabs listed. If we want to know, if we want to see the records inside the opportunity as objects, we click on opportunity. It by default it shows recently viewed items, and we have not recently viewed anything, so it's not showing anything. We changed the list view from recently viewed to all opportunities. So here we have the records in the opportunity. We have not created these records, but these are by default there in Salesforce for learning purpose. Now, if we go back to slides, applications we have seen. Inside applications, we have seen tabs. Tabs are objects and records in model layer. Tab display a list of records stored in a particular object tab. Tabs are always related to only one object. As we have seen tab, inside that we have seen opportunity tab. In the opportunity tab, we have seen the records in opportunity as objects. Then there are page layouts. These are related to records and fields. Page layout helps to display and edit one record that is present in the object or help create a new record. Can be compared with forms in Visual Basic or Oracle Forms. We have seen application, we have seen tabs, we have seen as subjects and then records in as subjects. Now, what page layout is? We click on just one of the records in opportunity, and this is the page layout. Page layout is basically where you want to see what. Here you can see opportunity owner. If you want to see at the end, you can customize this. so that the opportunity owner will display at the bottom and amount should be displayed here. So it is how you want to see the data. So this is page layout. We will be creating page layout and editing and modifying page layout in our later modules. But this time we are just discussing what page layouts are and what is the purpose of the page layouts. After page layout, objects, page layout or visual force, page records, table or entity in RDBMS parlance acts as a storage space for records, can also be compared with a sheet within an MS Excel file or Google spreadsheet. As I have already shown what objects are, then objects, fields, and records. Then there are fields and relationships. It is related to records and objects, a set of fields from an object, a set of fields with the values from a record, also known as columns, can be specific data type like text, email, number, data, etc. Columns in an Excel sheet, as I have already explained in the Excel sheet. If we go back to our Excel sheet, this is the name of the object, then these are the fields, and this is the data inside those fields. So these fields can have the data type. So it will have that particular type of data. Suppose if I create roll number of type only number, so it can only have numbers in it, not any characters or special characters. It will just contain number. If you want to contain characters, then you can give it a data type like text. We will be creating a fields in our later modules and creating the records. Then, as we have already discussed, records in a table, then visual force pages or lightning pages can list one or more records on the GUI. Apex triggers and classes, standard and custom controllers. Apex trigger and classes act as a layer that coordinates or controls data flow between the GUI and the database. This is a part of Salesforce development session. We will discuss in that. Standard and custom controller act as the layer that coordinates or controls data flow between the GUI and a database. Suppose you have created a custom page where you want to see a data from multiple S objects. Currently, one tab will show the data only from one object, not from two objects. If you want to see the data, or if you want to see data as per your requirement, not as per Salesforce provided, then you need to create a custom page in either Visual Force or a component or Lightning Web component. You will create the view in those pages, and to fetch the data you use Apex, and Apex will use SOQL queries to fetch the data from that database. It will provide to the page, and that page will display it on the screen. Now, types of sandbox provided by Salesforce. There are 4 types of sandbox. Sandbox are nothing but the test servers. There is one production, and then there are multiple test servers. Developer servers where you do the development, then again move it to the test servers. Then from test servers, it go to the production. The types of sandboxes are developer sandbox, developer pro, partial, copy, and full. Once you refresh the developer sandbox, then it has refresh interval of 1 day. After 1 day you can refresh it again, then it has a different values in different types of sandbox. Then it has capacity as 200 MB, then different capacity. Then the features it have includes configuration, Apex, and metadata, all users. And as we go to the right side, features increases. In partial copy, we have configuration, Apex, and metadata, all user, records, sandbox, template support. And in full copy sandbox, it has capacity same as the production. It has a refresh interval of 29 days. Once you will refresh sandbox, refreshing is nothing but fetching the metadata from the production and overriding in the and copying it in the sandbox. And once you refresh the full copy sandbox, it includes configuration, Apex, and metadata, all users, records, sandbox template support, history, and chatter data. Model view controller pattern in Salesforce. As most of you already familiar what model view controller pattern is, in Salesforce, a model there are data objects. Objects we have already discussed, the database, SFDC objects, and related elements. In view, we have talked about user interface, browser page, mobile page, page layout, and visual force and oral LWC pages. In the controller, there is business logic, standard and custom controller in SFDC. Controllers, we have discussed those Apex classes, which fetches the data from Salesforce database and provide it to the page. Thank you so much. Have a happy learning.